Starting with the subtopic 5.1 that talks about vectors. So we have different types of vectors. Displacement is considered as a vector, velocity is a vector, we have acceleration, force, all these are considered as vectors, and all vectors can be represented by drawing arrows. Each arrow has head and tail. This we call it tail, while this is the head. Now, regarding to the first question, the resultant of 20 Newton acting to the right. So I do prefer to draw to help you to understand more. So we have 20 Newtons to the right, while 30 Newtons to the left. Now we need to find the resultant force. The resultant force, which is the total, since these two vectors in one dimension, so but opposite directions, so we can just subtract 30 minus 20, it gives 10. Which one is longer, right or left? Of course left, so 10 to left. This is the correct answer, which is 10 to left, C. Now, going to next question. A student covers the following displacement. What are the magnitude and direction of the net displacement? So we need to find the magnitude and the direction. By drawing as usual, we have 12 east, because this is east. While, let's change the color. Here we have 6 west, then again 2 west. So the total of west will be 8. Now we need to find the resultant. Similarly, we have here 12 and 8 in two opposite directions, so we're going to subtract 12 minus 8, it gives 4. Which one is longer? Obviously east, so it will be 4 east, so option A. Here we have two vectors, but not in one dimension, in two different dimensions, x and y. And we need to find the resultant, the magnitude of the resultant vector. So resultant will be connecting from tail to head. So this will be the resultant. And as we can notice here, the shape is representing a right angle triangle. Yes, this is a right angle triangle. So easy to find R by using Pythagoras, which is a resultant is equal to 5 square plus 3 square, then square root or the radical, it gives, by using the calculator, 5.8 kilometer. So option D. We are going to use same concept here, but the idea here, instead of having them have the vectors on x and y sharply, one of the vectors needs to be resolved. Like q vector here is neither an x nor an y, so it will be resolved, يعني will be separated into here. Let me be accurate. It will be, we're gonna have vector on y, which is here. We're gonna have here qy and here qx. But the point here, which angle will be used? We're always using the angle with the x positive. So we need to find this angle. Easy, because all this, the total angle here is 180. So 180 minus 30 to get 150. So this is our angle. The angle will be used. Okay, now let's start with finding x and y component for P. Obviously, P is on x axis, so automatically without even any calculation, Px is 25 Newton, has no y component, so it's 0. But if we need to use the formula, we know the x component we use cosine theta, while with the y component we use sine theta. So let's apply the formula here. Let me write the equation here. So x, or the px is going to be equal to p cosine theta. So P is equal to 25. So here it's going to be 25 cosine. Here, what is the angle? It's 0. So by using the calculator, it's going to be, because cosine 0 is 1, so 25, it's going to be 25. Here, going to this point, for py, it's going to be y sine theta. Our y is 25, sine, same angle, which is 0. We know that sine is 0, so times 25, it's going to be equal to 0. For q, here to calculate qx and to calculate qy, as usual, qx, it's q cosine theta. Our q is 20 cosine the angle we just calculated, which 150. So 20 cosine 150, it gives negative 17.3. So this will be negative 17.3 Newton, while here Q sine theta, which is 20 sine 150, we're gonna get 20 sine 150 will be 10 Newton. Now the question asks about what is the magnitude and direction for the resultant force. Now for the resultant, it's another story. Why? Because here we need to find total x and total y first, then we add them. So for x, here these two x component, one positive, the other one negative, so we're gonna subtract, yani 25 minus 17.3, it gives 7.7 Newton. So this is the x component, we call it total x. We're gonna do the same with y. Here we need to find the total y. 0 and 10, so it will be 10 newtons. So obviously we're gonna have 10, I'll draw it here. So on the x component, we have 7.7 Newton. On the y component, we have 10 Newton. طبعا here we're adding them head to tail, then the resultant will be here using 10 squared plus 7.7 squared. You don't forget radical or the square root, so it's gonna be 7 squared plus our answer is 12.6 Newton. So this is the magnitude. Let me just erase this part. So here we calculated the magnitude, which is the resultant is 12.6 Newton. Okay, what about the direction? Question asks about the direction. To calculate the direction, we use tan. We know that tan theta is opposite over adjacent, which is y over x. So if we need to find theta, which is the angle that shows the direction, it would be tan minus 1. The y here, our y is 10. Our x is 7. So it will be 10 over 7.7. 7.7. So 10 over 7.7. We don't forget shift 10. So it gives 52.4 degree. This regarding to the idea of vector.